Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I prepare and freeze my onions. If you'd like to see me do that, stay tuned. Did you know you could freeze onions? You can. Let me show you how I do it. I always purchase more onions than I need so that I can have some to put in the freezer. So what I do is I just take them out of the bag. I cut the base and the top off. The base is where the roots would have been growing out of, and the top, of course, is where the greens would have been growing out of. I take the top and the skins and just randomly place those in the garden all over the place and let them rot down. That way the garden smells like onions and hopefully no pests will be in the garden. I take the bottoms. I highly doubt this is going to grow another onion, but anything is possible. I place root side down, cover it up with a little bit of soil, and see what happens. So this is going to go out in the garden, just randomly placed, and this is going to go in the soil. And I take this and rinse it off. Once I have all of my onions rinsed, it's time to just chop them up. I don't do anything special. I just start cutting. You can cut them in ringlets like I do. You can dice them up. However you choose to do it is how I would say cut up your onions. For me, I just chop them up in little ringlets, put them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in the freezer. Now, of course, before I do that, I have to say on the bag what it is and when I put it in there. That way I don't forget that these are onions that I put in there whatever date that was. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop these up and get them in a Ziploc bag, and I'll be right back. If this is your first time chopping onions, I say go slow, watch your fingers, use a sharp knife. All I do is, again, chop mine or slice mine, just like that. Sometimes my knife works for me and sometimes it doesn't. If this is your first time watching my videos, hello, welcome. I'm glad you decided to join me today. I hope you come back for more videos. I am saving onions because I use a lot of onions in my household. I have a lot of onions in the garden. I'm hoping to be able to subsidize my shopping when it comes to onions. I'm hoping that this time next year, all the onions that I am growing now, as well as the onions I'm going to start by seed, will be able to keep me from buying onion sets or onion starts from now on. So once I finished up chopping, I take a Ziploc bag, use whatever bag you have. I place my onions in the Ziploc bag, nothing special. And again, because I use a lot of onions for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, depending on what it is we're making or I'm making, onions are something that I always keep in the house because it is something that we use a lot of. And instead of running to the store time and time again, I try to keep a gallon-sized bag in the freezer at all times. And this is a gallon-sized bag. And that was a, this was a, I want to say, a 3-pound bag of onions. And I will show you in just 1 second what 3 pounds gives me. And again, this is a gallon-sized bag. Let me pull the camera up so you all can see. Let me close this up right quick. Try to push out some of the air. And I will use my food saver. I'm not going to show you me using the food saver because if you don't have a food saver, then that would not help you. So I just try to squeeze as much of the air out as I can. And that is a gallon-sized bag. Let me show you. That is a gallon-sized bag of onions. You can use yellow onions, you can use white onions, you can use red onions, you can even use shallots, whatever you have. And then what I'm going to do, and again, I'm not going to show you because you might not have a food saver. I'm going to take all the air out of this, make sure that I have placed the date on my bag, and in the outdoor freezer it goes. And so that is how, that is how I chop, dice, or slice, and then freeze my onions. Not everyone has money for a food saver, and I found this several years ago, many years ago, at Walmart. They used to sell Ziploc bags that would allow you to suck the air out. I don't know if they still have it, but if they do and you want to invest in it, it wasn't a lot of money, and you're wanting to save food in the freezer. Air is an enemy in your freezed food. That's what will cause the quick degrade. So if you can take out the air, that's the best thing to do. Now, I have a food saver, but I want to show you this without the food saver because not everybody has a food saver. So what I do is the food saver bag has a little hole right in the corner. Some of them. Actually, all of the food saver. If you buy a knockoff, it doesn't. But the food saver bag has a little hole where you can push the air out. And so this little tool, you just put over that little hole, and then you push the plunger up, and it sucks the air. I hope y'all can hear me. It sucks the air out of the bag. There we are. See? The air is coming out of the bag. It may not be the best tool out there on the market, but it does work. And then you go ahead on and put this in the freezer. If you don't have money for a tool like this and all you have are Ziploc bags from the discount store or wherever you get them, just use what you have. Don't feel as if you have to use all the fancy gadgets that everyone is showing you, either online or wherever. Use what you have to be able to save what you have. That way you're saving money for you and your household. So if you have onions that you're either going to throw out because they might go bad, instead of doing that, slice them up, put them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in your freezer. I guarantee you that you'll be glad you did, because that saves you time, that saves you money, and we can all use a little extra money, right? So if you buy extra onions, slice them up and put them in the freezer. I hope you enjoyed my quick tutorial. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, leave me a comment and let me know if you're freezing onions. And if you're not, why not? And if you are, and this is your first time, tell me what you do with them, because I put them in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So until next time, I hope to see you either in the kitchen or the garden real soon. Bye for now.